with the East looking super stacked and the Bulls looking like they may not even make the playoffs next year, I thought we should go back and look at the Vucevic trade that the Bulls organization thought would help them get over the hump and get them into the playoffs. The package was Alfredo Aminu, Nikola Vucevic for Wendell Carter Jr., Otto Porter Jr., 2021 first round pick, and the 2023 first round pick. On paper at the time, I think this trade looked pretty solid. Wendell had not really done much with the Bulls. He didn't look like he was going to really develop that much further in his career, and it seemed like it just wasn't really a good situation. Otto Porter Jr. had always been hurt with the Bulls and barely played any games. And from the Bulls' point of view, they're giving up 2 picks that they would have assumed would be out of the lottery because they're making this trade to get them over the hump and get them into the playoffs. And Vooch was playing like a really solid all-star, great stretch big, scoring 24 points, 11.8 rebounds, 3.8 assists on good shooting splits of 48 from the field, 40 from 3, and 82 from the line. Looked like a really good deal on paper, but then as soon as he went to the Bulls, he just did not look good. People thought, okay, new situation, takes a little while to adjust. He's playing more of an offensive number 2, has the ball a lot less in his hands, less post-ups for him. And they thought maybe going into the 2021-2022 season, he was going to be a lot better, maybe more time with DeMar or more time with Levine to fit, and adding DeMar, maybe you kind of get a nice 3-headed monster, but he just has not looked very good offensively, solid, but his per 75 last year was 19.7 on minus 3.2 relative true shooting, and for a big man, that's really bad. He shoots poorly at the rim, hasn't ever shot that great at the rim, and his 3-ball, last year was hitting at 40% until he went with the Bulls. Up until then, he's a 34% career 3-point shooter. And I just don't really understand why the Bulls did this. I get that they wanted to make the playoffs. They were stuck with mediocrity. You wanted to get Levine a winning season to help him sign that supermax, so you have to make these moves. But I just think when you're looking at it, and especially when you look at the year that Wendell had last year, you look at what the 2021 first-round pick turned into, Franz Wagner, who looked like a really good rookie, probably the 4th to 5th best rookie in the class last year. Looks like he has a pretty high ceiling, could be an all-star guy. It just looks really bad for the Bulls, and with the Bulls not even making it, might not even make it to the playoffs this coming season. It's like, why'd you guys make the move? You gave up 2 first-round picks, promising young guy Wendell, who had a breakout year with the Magic. Shot pretty solid from 3, shooting 33% on 3.5 attempts. Up until then, he had shot less than 1 attempt per game at less than 30% clip. Great rim finisher on defense. He looked really, really good. Really versatile. He played a lot more 4 in the Magic, and I think that's his preferred position. He's pretty good on the help, got quick feet, can move with some perimeter guys. He's a great rebounder. And then when you look at Franz Wagner too, he looks like he can do a little bit of everything. Looks like a guy who can really develop into a super versatile wing player, solid on defense, good playmaking, good self-creation. Can hit the 3-ball. And just looking at Wendell and Franz stats from last year comparatively to Vucevic's, for Wendell, it's 15, 10.5 rebounds, 2.8 assists on 52, 33, and 69 shooting splits. Franz, it's 15.2 on points per game, 4.5 boards, 2.9 assists on 47, 35, and 86 shooting splits. And Vucevic, it's only 17.6, 11 rebounds, 3.2 assists on 47, 31, 76 shooting splits. And honestly, there's no guarantee the Bulls pick Franz Wagner with the 8th pick. When you're looking at just the raw box score numbers from those 2 guys, I much rather have them than Vucevic. Franz looks like a really great versatile wing. Wendell looked like he had a breakout year, being able to stretch the floor, being a really effective mid-range shooter too. Kind of close to the top of the league in efficiency. He doesn't shoot a lot of them, but is really efficient at them. And it just seemed like the Bulls kind of fumbled another trade. I don't think Vucevic is going to be able to get them into the playoffs. I don't even know if they'll make the playoffs next year. DeMar doesn't seem like he's going to be able to replicate the season he had last year. Levine should be fully healthy, so that should be a really good boost for them. Maybe having Levine at full strength, not dealing with injuries like he was last year, could be really beneficial. But then you still have the Lonzo Ball stuff hanging over them. You have Patrick Williams, who could be a swing piece, but he just hasn't really played that much in his NBA career to kind of have a lot of faith in him. And Vooch is older. Big men, especially like him, who aren't super athletic, don't have great rim finishing skills, don't really translate super well, I think. Like, if his shot's not falling like it wasn't last year or when he first came to the Bulls, I just don't know what he's really going to provide the value. His defense did get a little bit better with the Bulls than it was in Magic. With the Magic, I think he does work pretty well alongside offensive centerpieces. He can kind of play off of them a little bit more, but he is a guy you want to give him his post-ups. You want to get the ball in his hands. He can play make a little bit, and I just don't know. I don't think the Bulls has the offensive scheme or the personnel to really maximize his potential. You need Zach Levine and DeMar DeRozan to operate inside of the arc a lot. They're great slashers, especially DeMar has no real three-point shot. And so Vooch has to stretch out the floor, and he's just kind of standing, waiting for catch and shoot threes. That's not what he's that good at. I mean, like, yeah, he did have that 140% three-point shooting season before he gets traded to the Bulls, but that looks more like an anomaly than it does his standard. And I feel like Wendell and Franz would have been a better fit for this team. You probably still have to put Wendell at the 5 so he doesn't play as effectively. Maybe you can find a backup 5, move Wendell to the 4. You have Franz as a versatile wing. You still have good guard depth. Your defense is definitely probably a lot better with those two guys than with Vooch. But the other side of this trade is DeMar probably doesn't go to the Bulls unless they get Vucevic. He was a pretty big factor in getting him over there. So, I don't know. But I think the Bulls definitely still lost this trade, and especially if they're not good, and that 2023 first-round pick turns into another high pick, maybe outside of the lottery. But if it's back in the lottery, it's going to look really, really bad for this front office. Another bag fumbled, another trade fumbled. And they did all of this just to, like, not even make the playoffs. That's what's so sad about it, is, like, yeah, they make it last year, and you could argue they dealt with a lot of injuries that helped or definitely hurt their chances of being a high seed. But even in spite of that, they get to the playoffs and they get destroyed by the Bucks. And, like, the whole season, everyone was kind of having this thought, like, well, are the Bulls really this good of a team? Is DeMar going to be able to replicate the season he had last year again? And I think the answers to all of those are no. Like, I don't think the Bulls are that good of a team. I think if you look at the rest of the East, 1 through 8 are all better than them. I think they're right on the edge, and I think even the New York Knicks could potentially be better than them, depending on what Jalen Brunson, RJ, and Julius Randle will look like together. Maybe they move Julius Randle and they get some good rotational pieces, and you just let RJ and Jalen Brunson really run the show. But yeah, like the Lonzo thing really hurts them. It's really worrisome what is going on with that. It seems like I would assume was going to have to really step up a lot more than he was last year, and probably have to start a lot more games, which I think I'm pretty confident in him doing. But, you know, I just have a lot of questions for this Bulls team next year when you're looking at this trade that they made 2 years ago now. Didn't really do anything for them. It doesn't look like it's going to get them anywhere in the playoffs, or even maybe in the playoffs. And I just think I would not feel good about this trade looking back on it as the Bulls organization or as a Bulls fan. If you like the video, please like and subscribe, and have a good day.